One rather extreme solution is the creation of floating cities. Some companies and governments are putting together plans to create large livable areas which float on the surface of the ocean. In 2017, French Polynesia made a deal to allow the Seasteading Institute to explore the first steps in constructing a floating city. This would address the problem of rising oceans and eroding coastlines. One of the hopes in creating floating cities is that they'd exist in international waters and be able to govern themselves better. Similar to floating cities are underwater cities. Japanese construction firm Shimizu Corp has released plans to deploy a $26 billion underwater city called Ocean Spiral by 2030. It would house several thousand people and draw its energy from the seabed and ocean currents. Plans for this city include residential and business zones. It would contain many of the necessities humans require to live. The project is backed by the Japanese government and Tokyo University. Then again, maybe underground cities would suit us better. We already have buildings with large underground spaces, and subways are common in cities throughout the globe. So it wouldn't be too much of a stretch for humans to develop more extensive underground dwellings, potentially powering them using geothermal energy sources. In the past, underground living areas have been developed in emergency situations, such as when the Vietnamese built the 75-mile-long Cu Chi tunnels during the Vietnam War. They included sleeping quarters, recreational areas, and medical sections. Wherever we build in the future, technology will revolutionize our urban environments. Wi-Fi is becoming more and more pervasive, and cities of the future could become connected in more ways than we can imagine. Once cities embrace being connected, we could have amazing reception everywhere we go. This would also mean that advertisers might connect to you as well. When you drive past that billboard on your way to work, it might know you're passing and display a product you'd be especially interested in.
Best in the West. It rhymes!
Speaking of driving to work, we might soon live in a world where self-driving cars and transportation systems are common. This would make navigating cities easier than ever and allow goods and produce to be transported more efficiently over long distances. The only problem would be fuel due to limited oil reserves and climate change. At some point, we'll have to switch from gasoline to electricity and from coal to renewable energy sources. These homes would be connected to the internet in all kinds of unique ways. Maybe your alarm clock will tell appliances in your kitchen to start preparing breakfast, or your car to warm up automatically. We can already phone into meetings halfway across the globe, but virtual computing would make it like we were there in person. Teams could meet in virtual spaces without having to travel at all. This means there'd be fewer people on the road and potentially less pollution. On the subject of work, workers of the future might need to work a lot less because of automation and efficiency improvements. At first, this could have a devastating impact on employment, robbing many people of their livelihoods. In the long term, however, people may one day look back at our working culture the way we look back at factory jobs in the Industrial Revolution. The whole idea of work will have to be re-examined as we come to realize that many of the things we need, such as food, water, and shelter, are easily provided thanks to advances in food production and robotics. If floating, underground, and autonomous cities don't excite you, then how about space cities? If we continue to overpopulate the planet and fail to answer our climate problems, humanity might be forced to move to the stars. Instead of looking out the window and seeing a parking lot or run-down building, you might see the entire Earth floating in front of you. Plans are already underway to put people on Mars, so it wouldn't be a stretch to envision cities on the moon or rotating around Earth like satellites.